Sand City Sports. Welcome, welcome. Friday night edition. Let's go around and make sure the socials are good. All right, all right. Twitter is good. YouTube is good. All right. Twitch is good. Make sure I got my, you know what I mean? Remember that episode of the Chappelle Show? Gotta make sure that I have my chapstick on, but gotta be reasonable proportions. So hope everybody had a good week. We are off into the weekend. It's a long day, but a good day for your boy. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be back in the mix. Let me just make sure my screen is right. Screen is good. Okay. Salute, Chris. We're here, man. We got a lot. Patriots handled business last night. We have the NBA, Cup going on right now. Shout out to Amazon Prime. Spurs and the Warriors getting after it. Major League Baseball awards yesterday. A lot of familiar faces there. So the NBA season is heading towards Christmas in the early stages. NFL season getting ready to come down the home stretch. I think we're going to spend a lot of time there. Coaching carousel is swirling. New York Giants opportunity, the possibility of Bill Belichick. He spoke out today. Need to dive into that. Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. And the Luka Doncic era and where LeBron James fits into that. A lot that we're going to get to, but first and foremost, I hope your day and things are good with you. And I'm hanging in there. I'm doing this passion project. I'm glad to be with you. And we're gonna keep it moving and grooving. So let's get it going. Let's get it going. You know what this is. Let's make sure that our volume is right. We're a little bit over. We want to make sure that we can hear the intro, but that is not overwhelming, right? Not overwhelming. But as they say, Lego. Welcome, Sand City to the business. I am your host. Thank you so much. Hey, we're back here to bring you. Come on in. Hey, bring it back, man. Yes. Let's get our energy. Sand City. Late night. Go. Hey, are you engaged? Super Bowl favorites and discuss. We will discuss that young man, Mr. Victor Wembanyama. Yama, what do we got? Spurs and the Warriors. Low 60s, midway through the third quarter. Lower scoring game than I would have expected. Do we have actual defense being played in the playing tournament? Is that what we have going on? Love to see it. We will discuss. So on and forth. Um, so hey, Sand City, we're here. Um, and let's get it moving and grooving. All right. NBA Cup is going down. We will tune in, chime in, check in with this ball game. But we have to. What in the Sam Hill? We got to play the hits, as they say. Shout out to Ben Maller. Shout out to the Maller Militia. Right? My attendance has been derelict. No excuses. Dreaded day shift. But as Big Ben always like to say, we got to play the hits. So we're going to bring up what we left off with recently. Okay? And we're going to talk about the new sheriff in town. And we're going to talk about the boy wonder. New sheriff in town and the boy wonder. Let's get my imagery in order here. All right, where are we going to go? Ooh, the Times. What? The paper of record. It's great art. There we go. I'm working on the production constantly. Okay, folks. How's your DraftKings? How's your fantasy? Right? What was the line? 12.5. Patriots 27. New York Jetropolitans 14. It's 12.5 and we end on 13. That's crazy. All right. It looked like Jets were going to keep it close. Right? And they were going to easily cover that 12.5. Down the stretch, Patriots making moves. Stephon Diggs. Ooh. That is a fun fact. Mark Dagnall is from Leominster. Leominster. It's a good pull there, Chris. Based on the fact, we're gonna talk Patriots, but we got slice of life that we have to get into. Even though, this episode, man, we gonna have to get after it because I got a lot of slice of life. I got a lot of slice of life that I have to get to. Shout out to Pat Bev. Shout out to Jason Williams. Their pod on Barstool Sports. It's solid. Just amongst, right? We got so much great content going on right now. So many opportunities. But Bev and Jay Will, woo! You know what I mean? Jay Will's a straight shooter, very insightful. You know, Pat Bev, we talking about West Virginia, right? Jay Will coming from West Virginia. A lot of references that I'm throwing at you, but right now, but I don't, West Virginia, that's blue collar. If there is a blue collar in the United States of America, West Virginia might have to be the textbook definition. Okay, we talking about coal mining country. We talking about pull yourself up by them bootstraps, right? So Jason Williams, what do you want to call him? White chocolate? I mean, he's cut from that cloth. Okay. You talk about people that talk the talk, people that walk the walk. Jason Williams, Randy Moss. Go ahead and check out what was the documentary about Randy Moss, the 30 for 30. It's not the U. But check out the 30 for 30. I have to Google it up. About what the heck? No. That's not the screen that I want. That's not the screen that I want. There's my screen. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me, Riverside. We doing good. But Jay Will, and he talks about his high school experience. He talks, But what I'm getting at is black, white, yellow, green, or orange. When it comes to sports, we're all the same. We talk about a meritocracy. Okay, Asian, African, Irish, Indian, we're all here. We're here for it, and it brings us together. Okay, we're human, so we have our back and forth, but it brings different people together. Shout out to Barstool Sports. Shout out to Jay Will. Shout out to Pat Bev. What am I getting at? We got West Virginia and we got Chi-Town in the house on that pod. Pat Bev, the pride of, and I was thinking about this today, folks. If you haven't seen Hoop Dreams, stop it. Stop it. You might have to go to your local library to get the Hoop Dreams, but you need to do it. I was people that see Hoop Dreams, you know, right? You can't have an all-time classic. Right? What did Roger Ebert say? Shout out to Roger Ebert. Shout out to Cisco and Ebert. Shout out to the awesome 80s. No, come on now. And it wasn't just because Roger Ebert was from Chicago. Oh! We got folks checking in. We got folks on the check-in. What's going on, bro?
Yo.
Welcome in. Welcome in. Let me get my headphones.
What's up?
I see, yeah, man, your hair's growing. The line is sharp. Very good, very good.
I was just checking to make. I was just checking to make sure that.
Yeah. Geometry is on point. So you come in at the right time. I gotta get my headphones on. We're talking about the Patriots, so your takes are invaluable on the Patriots. But I started on the Patriots. Then I started talking about slice of life. I have to check myself. And then I went into how we got a really good pod on Barstool Sports with Jay Will, the pride of West Virginia, and then Pat Bev, the pride of Chi-Town. That brought me to Hoop Dreams. Whereas all-time great classic documentary. Pat Bev played for Marshall. So the Hoop Dreams people out there obviously know Marshall of Arthur Agee fame, right? So that's where Pat Bev played his high school basketball, and Pat Bev and Arthur Agee obviously tight. And so yes, that brought me down that road. But we're gonna come right back to the Patriots, bro. Great to have you on short notice. Thank you for being here. Are the Patriots Super Bowl favorites in the AFC?
Yes.
The Patriots are favorites, not contenders. I said favorites.
Favorites. I mean, 8 in a row. Maybe is it 9 or I think it's 8? But man,
8 in a row. Some big wins. You know, the win in Buffalo. I think that set the table. But you have them as favorites. So does that mean you're sleeping on the Indianapolis Colts?
Absolutely not, and this is why. Did you see how they looked against the Steelers? This man, Danny Jones.
Danny Dimes?
Is a giant for real. I don't forget. I ain't forgot.
Okay. So can you just run that back? I had to get the headphones in. You were talking about Danny Dimes.
I said Daniel Jones. We have not forgotten who he is and who he will be when the game is on the line. Those spotlights are bright.
You saying he's gonna turn into a pumpkin?
Yes.
You saying he deserves a role in the remake of Cinderella? You're saying Danny Dimes?
He's never played meaningful football past Thanksgiving. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, there's an experience factor, but Drake May is also second-year guy, so he's new to this as well.
But Drake May is true to this. There's a big difference.
Uh, You know, are you of the
Big
MVP?
difference. MVP, yes. Trajectory, MVP, yes. He's a favorite right now. Danny Jones ain't never been no MVP candidate in his whole career ever. So
All right, you can take shots at Danny Dimes. All I know is that the Colts, who I had in
hey
the
man,
Arch
hey man,
Manning sweepstakes.
history tells itself. Okay. We will do it to the Colts just like we did to the Colts. And we will continue to do the Colts.
Hmm.
Okay.
Going back to
Colts
the
hang up,
dynastic years.
yes, the Colts hang up banners for winning their division.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So there's a history there. I see that. At the same time, these are two teams that didn't have expectations. You were bullish on the Patriots to begin the
I
season.
told you. You can run the clips. Run the clips, man.
Yeah, we
I
will. We
told
will.
you
We
in the
have we
beginning of
have
the
that footage.
season that the Patriots were going to be the real deal this year.
Yeah. Okay. But we didn't think MVP Super Bowl favorites. We just said a rebuilding team. We didn't have we didn't let's be honest. You might have been a true believer, but this wasn't the
Well,
odds makers. This
all
wasn't.
right. Well, let's just say this to where we know where you stood. You stood that the Patriots were just as good as the Cleveland Browns, the dumpster fire in Cleveland. Cleveland. I said Patriots and Tampa, and who else is nice? Tampa is nice. If
That was a
Mike
statement,
Evans
Vic.
didn't go down, they'd be another one seed.
Yeah, that was a statement when Tampa Bay dealing with injuries, but that was a big win for New England. Um, Drake May is he a serious MVP candidate, or is he the flavor of the month, or does it need to go to Jonathan Taylor?
I mean, Patriots win the one seed. There is no reason why he does not win MVP.
MVP in his second year, first time being in the spotlight. Can
Man,
we?
Boston will be whoo man. Bring Cape Cod back to the early 2000s. When DJ King was DJing on Main Street. Bring it back.
Yeah, people will be. You know, people get it jumping. People will be enthusiastic. In the heart of winter, brick cold.
This is
Um,
where you got to think of. This is where you got to think of, bro. The Patriots have been to 9 Super Bowls, and you are giving the fan base. Man. All I got to say is that number 3 pick is Boston's gold. Tatum, Drake May. So,
Will
you know,
Campbell.
yep, Will Campbell.
Not sure if he was the
You know,
third or the fourth pick.
I think he was the 4th.
Right. But, third, 3, 4, right? I see what you're saying. Look, what I'm in a bit of a conundrum about Drake May, the
So,
MVP conversation, and the Patriots in general. Let
so
me just start by saying, your boy, as we say a number of times, we don't do the player hate and we do the congratulating. I don't care if that's an old saying. I'm using it. We don't play hate, we congratulate. So, I was not a Patriots believer to start this season. I no shade. I'm just seeing a team that has won. I don't know if the Patriots have won 10 games in the last 4 years. 3 years.
They've won more games this year than they've won the past 2 years combined.
Right. So it's been tough sledding.
2 years
And
not that long though. 2 years really not that long in football years.
right. And Stephon Diggs, he's no sure thing. Obviously has had issues off the field. I just didn't see it. Was there a recognition that Mike Vrabel is a solid coach, has turned teams around, is a winner? I can go on and on. Yes, there was that recognition. And I've made it clear every time I mention Mike Vrabel, I'm going to give Gerard Mayo the respect he deserves as somebody who deserves another opportunity, who deserves to have some runway to get his program off the ground. Right? We're not going to just forget about Gerard Mayo as we can forget about the losing, but his name needs
Vrabel
to
is
be
a
in the
better
head.
Coach.
Yes,
Period.
Mike Vrabel would have been a better coach last year. That's not debatable. I've been on that from the beginning. I've been on that from the beginning.
So it might have been the wrong hire from the jump, and Vrabel should have been here instead of being a consultant for the Browns last year. Like it was, tried to keep the Belichick mold. Really tried to keep it through Mayo. Didn't work. It really didn't.
No, it did not.
But hey.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Pains, we like to call it.
Sure. Respect to Vrabel, what he's done. Also respect to the Patriots for putting their money where their mouth is, giving Gerard Mayo an opportunity. Did not go as planned. Does not mean he should not get another opportunity. Back to Mike Vrabel. And yes, there's no Mike Vrabel is an outstanding coach. He's been an outstanding coach. I don't know why Tennessee let him go in the first place. I did see this team growing. I did not see this. I did not see in year one this type of a Harbaugh turnaround. That's what I said, right? John Harbaugh, when he got the San Francisco 49ers in year 2 into the Super Bowl, in year 1, taking the same team that had not lived up to its potential, playing for Mike Singletary, all-time great linebacker, okay? But Harbaugh took the exact same team and made them a contender in less than a calendar year before placing them in the Super Bowl. He's doing similar work right now with the Chargers in year 2, having them firmly in the playoff conversation and as a possible. Okay, I don't have a problem with the Patriots being the favorites, based on how they're playing. And we talk about the Patriots, talk about the Colts. Obviously, you have some huge games coming up. I think these games are huge against the Bills and against the Ravens, 2 teams that are sliding, right? If the Patriots can, if the Patriots beat the Ravens, that's probably going to end their playoff aspirations. I don't know if anybody saw the Baltimore Ravens not even making the playoffs this year, even, the most locked in folks in football. I don't know if anybody believed that the Patriots in that game could end the Baltimore Ravens playoff hopes, but they most certainly can. Most certainly can. All right. Here I am, even though this wasn't the way I saw it, I'm happy for diehard Patriots fans like yourself, Pats Nation here. It was good checking my news feed. So a lot of people went to the game yesterday and were taking it in. And they're just the energy, the enthusiasm, the whole 9 yards. It's great to see. And as unexpected as it is, and as much as it wasn't the way I saw things shaking out, let's just be clear. Drake May for MVP, Drake May for president. Okay? You talk about, and we can go back and check the receipts on this one. I have been a Drake May guy from the beginning. Not that anybody needs to pat me on the back, just based on the fact that you didn't hear as much about Jaden Daniels when they were in college. When Drake May was at Carolina, his name was front and center. Moment he stepped foot on Chapel Hill, in Chapel Hill. And so talent-wise, Drake May and Caleb Williams were the 1 and the 1A. So he's talented. Should he have been thrown into the fire last year? Probably not. You should have let him have the time to grow. And I think how that played out, that was a part of the May.
I think I strongly those were growing pains to why he's playing so well right now. That's why he doesn't look like a rookie. Is because of those time he had last year, and he's Josh McDaniels, man. It's the coaching staff. He has McDaniels.
What about Freddie Kitchens?
McDaniels is not. Yes, you're right. Not Freddie Kitchens. McDaniels is your quarterback whisperer, and he's won with us.
He's been a quarterback whisperer
multiple times.
He's an OC. That's what he is. He's had a couple opportunities in the big chair. He's an OC.
He's an OC.
And this is one of the things. First of all, so McDaniels knows his business, and then Mike Vrabel knows his business. So you want to talk about grow where you're planted, and Drake May is a dude. Drake May is a dude. He's been a dude. So it needs to be mentioned. We're not throwing shade, but based on how Jaden Daniels was balling last year, and Caleb Williams is still, people don't really know what to make of Caleb Williams, right? And it's funny how quickly narratives change, because Caleb Williams was this guy was can't miss, and he outshined, and you can kind of speak to this, with your football background, but it wasn't like, oh, Caleb Williams and then Jaden, it was Caleb Williams in his own stratosphere, and okay, Washington, you got Jaden Daniels. I mean, he's pretty good, and New England, you just got who's left over. Like, it wasn't close in terms of the perception of these three quarterbacks, even though they're all quite talented. But for the Patriots, who got the third of the three, right? Had the Patriots got the number 1 overall pick, would they have taken Drake May, or would they have, participated in the Caleb Williams sweepstake? All I'm saying is that I'm glad, not that he's, because the Commanders are down and, Caleb, he's still in between. But people, like, there was a lot of the luster that was lost in terms of how he was perceived. And to your point, he wasn't really in an ideal, optimal situation in any way, shape, or form. Never mind Freddie Kitchens and whether he can do his job or whether not do his. There was just turmoil from day one.
The coaching staff, Andre, was I'm sorry. Freddie Kitchens calling the office. Mayo calling the team soft when they're losing. Like, Mayo, it was bad when he did the wrong approach. You don't publicly try to, they're not playing harder. Freddie Kitchens is calling the offense. That's on you. And guess what? When it comes down to it, why are we this bad? You didn't get the number 1 pick, you get fired. I'm cool with that, though. Like I said, that had to happen.
Right. Losing the number 1 pick remains. I mean, things are going so good. People have kind of forgotten about that. And Will Campbell, the amount of time that Drake May has to do, like this offensive line. Am I mistaken in feeling like, they're the unsung heroes? I'm just, and folks have said the Jets, that they're a bad defense, so he's not playing against, one of the elite defenses in the league. Honestly, I'm just intrigued by the Bills and the Ravens matchups. Bills are
we're better. We're so much better than the Bills. We are so much better than the Bills. And the reasons why I say that is the Bills don't have any receivers. And we have a charged up Stephon Diggs who will light them up again. Like
Right.
Bills, yeah, we're just better than the Bills. It's almost
How about
back
the
to
Ravens? How about the Ravens with Lamar Jackson?
I don't think Lamar Jackson is healthy. I
You
mean,
don't
he
think Lamar
played well
Jackson is
last
what?
week, healthy, and
Right.
I think I don't think he's fully healthy, but I think we'll beat the Ravens. Yes, I really do think we'll beat the Ravens.
What the heck is going on?
Bills secondary is atrocious, and that's why I think they're going to lose this weekend. I really think they're going to lose this weekend because of how bad their secondary is and no Kincaid. They have no receivers. They literally have no receivers. They put all their eggs in the basket of Keon Coleman, and he's not him. They really traded him for Stephon Diggs. Like they thought he was going to replace that star, and it didn't happen. Lackluster. My goodness. Maybe he has one touchdown catch, if that.
What exactly is going on with all these teams? These rugged teams that are supposed to be ground and pound. Like, does any team good defensively? I'm just stunned that the Bills, Baltimore's, you can't really get a read because they haven't been healthy. But the Steelers, these are teams that are known for defense and tenacious, being tenacious, who are all of a sudden, trying to play this run up and down track meet style of football. Speaking of that, can the Bengals, Joe Flacco coming in there, providing some stability, all their weapons, but are the Patriots just going to run over the Bengals?
Absolutely. Run over the Bengals.
Yeah, another team who invested little to nothing in defense.
Nothing. No defense. Just no defense. Like the no defense.
Okay. I'm not there relative to the Bills. And, yes, the Patriots, they have it going on right now. They're 9-2, so on and forth. The Bills are only one game back in the loss column, right? So they've only lost 3 games. And then okay. So
the Bills lose this weekend. The Bills are losing this weekend. I'm telling you right now, they're going to lose this weekend.
They're going to lose. Let me just pull this up.
They played Carolina last weekend, and they lost.
All right, so the Bills have. Ooh, goodness gracious. So they got the Bucks at home. We'll see how Tampa does. Cold weather environment.
Excuse me. Cold. Still November.
Not that cold in Buffalo.
I mean,
it's gonna be cold November. In
Buffalo. Not like they're playing December.
Right. Okay. So Buccaneers, Texans, all right. Steelers, all right. Bengals, they got games against teams. Those the AFC North is tough division, but none of those teams have jumped out as the Patriots have in the AFC, as the Broncos have in the as the Patriots have in the East, and as the Broncos have in the West. Right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so they Bills have the Bucks. Okay, have injuries, but that should be a close game. Texans advantage Bills. Steelers, advantage Bills. Bengals advantage Bills. So they're going to be the favorites in 3 out of the 4 next games after a horrendous loss to the Dolphins. And then you have the Patriots on the 14th in New England. Right? So the Bills, they win 3 of those 4. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Right? So they're coming into Foxborough with 4 losses. Patriots probably still have 2 losses. And the Patriots win that game close, or they win that game by double digits?
It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah. I'm seeing. If I'm point that Chris brings up in terms of teams that are struggling. I was big believer in the Falcons. That hasn't changed. I'm not backing off that take. Okay. ATL, 3-6. They got some work to do. Carolina Panthers. I mean, what is going on? What is going on with these teams? Panthers 500. Goodness gracious. There's been a lot. The Colts 8-2. Right? Just seeing a lot of surprises.
This weekend, Seahawks are going to be they're going to get
Seattle's another one. NFC West, goodness gracious. Seahawks, Rams, 2 lost teams. San Francisco, 6-4. All right, let's bring it back to the Patriots. Long story, not so long. Does this team run the table? Meaning, they're the favorites in every game, minus Buffalo and Baltimore. And some would argue, I think you're in this camp, that they're the favorites in those games too. Are the Patriots going to run the table and go 15-2?
Yes.
All right. Patriots going 15-2. Look, I don't see Mike Vrabel allowing this team to slip. So, they're playing the Jets again. They're playing the Dolphins again. Clear trap games. But yesterday was a trap game, and they won by double digits. And people could say that, you could say they're the Jets as much as you want. They were the Dolphins. They were the Dolphins, and the Dolphins scored 30 points and embarrassed the Bills. So, you play who's in front of you. You man up. You get to Any Given Sunday. Shout out to that movie. Shout out to Al Pacino's famous speech. We own Sam Darnold. LA is in the building. Chris is in the building. Rams win.
I think the Seahawks are going to get y'all.
Yeah, I gotta, shout out to Sean McVay. Shout out to him rebuilding that team. Aaron Donner left my perception of the Rams left as well. Matthew Stafford, who is essentially a rich man's Joe Flacco, balling. You look at the experiments that we have in the NFL with these aging quarterbacks, and teams say, "All right, come on in, old gunslinger," and I can give the edge to the Rams. Where is the game going to be?
Seems like the game. LA.
Yeah, game's in LA. All right, advantage Rams.
Which makes it probably a home game for Seattle. They're playing in a dome, so
right.
I just think Seattle's defense is scary.
Legion of Boom 2.0.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just Seattle's another team.
The
Colts.
defensive line is just crazy.
I mean, who's the general manager? How has he built this team back up? They're supposed to be sliding in the, lost Pete Carroll,
And they got a young coach.
new unproven coach.
I mean,
You know.
Jack's. They got their receiver. They're saying their receiver the best receiver in the NFL. Jackson and Gimbo, whatever. Saying he is the best receiver in the NFL.
Has a pretty good quarterback, man. What's going on in Minnesota? Sam Darnold had one meltdown, and you just so he goes.
Let him go.
He just goes, where he can find a home. Team take a chance on him, and next thing you know, the next thing you know, he's got the best. He's so I think that's a 2-part proposition.
I mean, didn't he go? Didn't he go? What he went? What 14? What did he go with? What was his record with the Vikings? He lost like 3 games one year.
14-3, 15-2, thereabouts.
Yes, something ridiculous, and had a meltdown in the playoffs.
And to that point, let's just come up here. Okay. Patriots are last year's Vikings.
And the reason why I say absolutely not is because Vrabel is such a better coach than Kevin O'Connell, man. Are you serious?
Kevin O'Connell, I mean, he's got to break through, obviously, in the postseason. Mm-hmm. But he's got this Vikings team, and shout out to their ownership in terms of, right? You got Brian Flores as your DC.
And the Patriots are winners, man. Been there, done that. We do it with a new squad now, and it's going to be beautiful because of Drake May.
Okay. Because of Drake May or because of the culture and the system? See, that's where I'm not, Drake May is the same way that people want to talk about Tom Brady in the first Super Bowl against the Rams, which they had no chance
of winning. Time out. I'm going to cut you off right now. When Drake May comes out, goes 11 for 11 to start the game and controls the game as a quarterback, that is your job. Period. Okay? That's what we call perfection at your job. Okay? What else more does he want? What else more do you need him to do?
Do that against a team that has an actual defense.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, the Jets, they're not known for their defensive prowess.
Just like you just said. He will do. You play who is in front of you.
No doubt.
One thing that people can't judge when it comes down to being a quarterback is leadership skills. Do you make the people play better around you? Do you elevate your teammates? And I would say Drake May does.
All right, that's where we diverge. Okay, Drake May is good. I'm not of the mindset. This is a Mike Vrabel-led team.
You don't watch the Patriots games. That's why. You don't. So we'll start there. You don't watch the Patriots games.
How do you know what I watch and what I don't watch, first of all?
You don't see the passion in the Patriots. You don't, because I know you don't. You don't watch the Patriots games.
How do you know where I was at 1:00 last Sunday? I'm not watching the game.
Because you weren't watching.
All right, but go ahead with your point. The passion. You're talking about the passion.
Well, I mean, you see in the plays, they're putting up 40 points. I mean, we didn't even have Christian Gonzalez for almost half the season. He just got back a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. So that all right.
That Christian Gonzalez is probably top 4, top 5 best, probably top 3 best corner in the NFL.
All right, he's back in the mix.
So, I mean, yeah, it's the system, It's Josh McDaniels' system, offensive. I mean, once you get that, that's how you get. That's how quarterbacks get to the Super Bowl. They have an OC quarterback. They're talking the same language, and if they're not talking the same language, like the rest of the league, you're going to see dysfunction.
No doubt. The point of demarcation I was getting at is that, all due respect, as I said, Patriots are rolling. I want them to keep it rolling. I'm optimistic. I'm not throwing shade. I just feel like in terms of how this is playing itself out, this team needs to emphasize the culture and the collective more than one singular player. What the conversation around Drake May right now is,
You also said
it
that
is
we were the
reminding me of how
Browns.
people looked at Patrick Mahomes early in his
We were the
career.
Browns. Hey, remember you said the Browns were going to beat us.
I
Remember
did say
that?
that. I did say that.
Remember that? Remember that?
Yeah.
You said the
And I
Browns were going
can
to beat us.
I said that. And I can admit that I was wrong. What I'm standing firm on right now is that, do you want to put all of this emphasis and burden on a second-year quarterback who is talented, who does have it rolling, rather than emphasizing the culture, the
The time is
leadership?
now. The time is now. The time, you like you said, Drake May has been the guy. The time is now. He's ready. But you think he's fretting? You think he's scared? You think he's shy? No. The time is now. Like you said, he's been the guy. So he's been the guy.
Right. And so that type of talk, that we're going to quote unquote let Drake May cook. Yeah. How has that worked out? I'll just give you one example. I don't have to use the other example, right? The Eagles, I said Eagles started off last season talking about let Jalen Hurts cook. And what the heck happened, right? It didn't go the way as planned. So then they came back and they said, look, this is how we need to play. I'll use another example. The Ravens started off last season, let Lamar Jackson cook. Then let's come back.
Okay, I'm going to go out and say Drake May can throw the ball better downfield than Jalen Hurts ever could in his whole career. So what are we even talking about?
We're talking about two talented and complete teams that wanted to put it all on their quarterback's shoulders and then said, that's not the way we're going to be successful. Let's scale it back.
The Eagles
let's do it through the run, play off of the run rather than spreading it out and letting one guy pick teams apart. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm saying the Patriots
will
have success. I don't
we're going to run the football.
All right.
What are you talking? Obviously, we're going to run the football. We always run the football. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a balanced approach that's not just putting it all on the boy wonder's shoulders. That's what I'm talking about.
But
the way people are talking about Drake May.
You're
talking about Drake May like he's Joe Burrow.
Hey.
That's how people are talking about Drake May.
You're a hater. Hey, all I got to say is you're a grade A hater. All right? You're a Browns fan. I understand why you're upset. I understand it. All right? You want Shedeur in. I get it. You're upset. You're upset that Shedeur is not playing right now. It's okay, Andre. The Patriots are back. Face the music early, because we told you this about Brady for years, and then everybody started coming to line. Oh, okay. Maybe he is the GOAT. Oh, okay. Maybe he is the GOAT. Maybe he, bang. It just flows. All right, it flows.
No doubt.
Let it happen. Keep the clips. That's all I got to say. Keep the clips. You will be a fan soon. Okay? Keep the clips. You will be a fan soon, Andre. Keep them. Because we already got some.
We got Chuckles. Shout out, you know what I mean? I know you got to moderate. You do have responsibilities, you being a family man. I love the energy. Energy is awesome. I think that energy is going to be transferred to the next generation of athletes in the family, yeah, that energy is going to be right there for the future track and field stars and star athletes that we have in the family. Just want to make it clear there is no hateration. You might not have been on when we said that when I made it clear that I don't play or hate, I congratulate. So I'm all, and I've said that a number of times. I repeated myself. I'm all for the Patriots, this wave of success, them rolling. And look, you are locked in much more than I am. You have your finger on the pulse. So I'm not going to I'm gonna keep it a buck. Yes, I know sports, but I don't know football like you know football. And to your follow it as closely as you do. All I'm saying, the point that I will make, that I am making, that I'm standing for, it's no slight against Drake May. All I'm saying is that I see the Patriots continuing to win with a balanced approach, and Drake May is having a great season, and he can go ahead and win the MVP. I'm not against him being the MVP. This was the kid from Carolina that I was, heard was great. Was glad the Patriots got. Couldn't go wrong. Didn't see him. A lot of people. Caleb Williams is great, and Jaden Daniels is great, and Drake May. There was a lot of folks like that. That's all I'm bringing up. That's factual. That a lot of people were like Drake May. Okay. And
they
so
don't know football. You don't know ball. If you said Drake May, you don't know ball. Because that boy was doing this at UNC on ESPN at 8 o'clock on a Friday night. Okay? That boy has been balling.
Right.
Look at his numbers at UNC, Andre. That boy was putting up video game numbers at UNC. Like, that's what I'm talking about, finger on the pulse. We knew Jaden Daniels was going to be the truth because you gave him that high-powered offense at LSU. What did he do? Go ahead and win Heisman. Now he got to get his crazy situation with Jaden getting hurt. Same way, same play, same team, same down, same time as RG3. So man, like speedy recovery for Jaden. And I think we talk about I mean honestly I think that the locker room is good right now. Like I think the chemistry for the Patriots right now is at an all-time high. And the reason why I say that is we were the laughing stock of the league the past 2 years. And in the flip of a switch, that the pride, we have been to 9 Super Bowls. We carry ourselves with, we've been to 9 Super Bowls. I've seen countless Super Bowls since I've lived in Arizona. They pulled up through, the Patriots have pulled through and won 2 Super Bowls here. So it's like the people will hate on greatness. That's why the Chiefs really thought they were a dynasty. Like, how much was ESPN trying to make the Chiefs a dynasty? No, the Patriots are a dynasty. And we found our next guy. I trust Boutte, yes. And the reason why I trust him, because Drake trusts him. Boutte and Boutte went through his trials. That boy had to sit out. He was betting on the games. He had to sit out. And guess what? Drake may say that's like his number one trusted receiver. He was a part of the team when we was not good. So it's almost like, the Celtics did it worst to best. Now it's the Patriots' time to do it worst to best. It's really flipping the switch, and the pride of the winning franchise to give you that momentum and the fan base for the push. Like Jacksonville Jaguars can't do that. They can't. It just doesn't line up. The Bills, the Bills Mafia. But guess what? When we get to the playoffs, we can't ever get over the hump. They don't even get to the Super Bowl. They don't play football in February. They don't know nothing about the February specials. And that's where you really see I would say the distribution of fan bases on how and just now how the culture is around that franchise. Like
The
I mean,
normalization
I'm
of
really
winning.
yes, I'm really interested to see the Colts' new owner. She's got a finger on the pulse, but the giant is back awake in the AFC. Like everybody said, the Chiefs were a dynasty. No, the Chiefs were not a dynasty. I'm sorry. You got your Super Bowls. Y'all look really suspect this year. I don't really. It, the time is now. The time is now.
Okay, lightning in a bottle. Which I'm all for. Strike while the iron's hot, meaning, right? You got it rolling. Don't push this down the road and none of this. And you know, is there a favorite to win the Super Bowl? It seems it's pretty wide open, right?
I think this
I
year's
don't
wide
see
open.
I don't see any team. The Chiefs are scratching and clawing to get in the playoffs. Uh, Philly is consistent on the other
Ravens,
side. They got their
Ravens.
the Ravens have fallen off the pace.
I don't think the Steelers are for real. They didn't go and
Steal
get another receiver.
right. So as they say,
The
why not
Broncos,
us?
my, the Broncos keep thinking that they can come back. The Rams are the real deal, but the Seahawks are better, and they're going to show you this weekend. The Legion of Boom 2.0. That's gonna be a
Those
great
NFC
game.
West teams are those NFC West teams are dangerous. Tampa Bay is dangerous. Detroit,
I think
okay.
Detroit got some problems with that offensive line. I really like the Eagles picking up Jaden Phillips. That's going to be a big pickup.
Harry Roseman out there making moves for the Eagles. But
The
again,
Rams look dangerous.
so the Patriots they're in the hunt. They're in the hunt. A lot of teams, upstart teams. Okay, talking about Seattle, right? And the Patriots they're an upstart team as well. Folks, there's been a 4-year gap, right? So there's been, or this is the fifth. This is actually it's 6 years. 4 years of Belichick, 1 year of Gerard Mayo, right? And then now Mike Vrabel takes over. So, there's been some downs. No, not some ups. There's been some downs. Okay,
I've been some
and
downs.
the Patriots have weathered those things and are improbably back.
Where will Kyler end up next year?
They're back in
Cleveland.
Which is crazy. How many quarterbacks are they going to have? Why? Just because they take chances, and he's a better quarterback than Gabriel. They don't want to try to develop.
He is a better quarterback than Gabriel.
Sure, but is he going to be the quarterback of the future, or is he just going to be a gap quarterback?
That's the thing. If you've watched the film on what Kyler has given the Cardinals over the past 3 years, I don't think you make him your franchise quarterback. He just lost his job to Jacoby Brissett. Like people don't really understand how bad that is. The Patriots were running Jacoby Brissett when we were the worst team in the NFL. Before we put Drake in, we were running Jacoby. And we were, yes, the worst team in the NFL. And the Cardinals said, we feel more confident running Jacoby Brissett than Kyler Murray. Talk about play good one game and trick the world. Man. They put Kyler on the IR. They say, hey, Kyler, your foot hurts. Don't come to work today. Actually, don't come to work for the next month because your foot still hurts. We're going to put you on the IR, okay, because your foot hurts. They told this man his foot hurts, and they put him on the IR. And then they said, we are going with Jacoby Brissett. And then they go out there and play Seattle, and I thought I was watching high school football. I'm not kidding. He hyped the ball. I just like I remember why I turned it on, watched one play, and he hyped the ball. 0.2 seconds. Jacoby is thrown on the ground, ball is flying in the back. I'm like, oh my goodness. It was 31-0. And this is I think the crazy things with the NFL is like you have franchises like the Cardinals. Okay. They got to the Super Bowl, didn't get over that hump, and it just like crumbled. Put all your chips in Kyler Murray, and then like you had one good year, and then it's been just. I mean, how does this dude Rich Gannon still have a job? That's how I'm. His record's like 20 and like 58 or some crazy record. How does he still have a job?
Yep.
Like the Cardinals are a dumpster fire. Like some of these teams in the NFL are just dumpster fires. They're just like to this point becoming comical. Piss poor ownership. They don't, they're just, I don't know, billionaire games, I guess.
So do they need to make a drastic move? You're talking about the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, let's get it up here. I think the Raiders, right? Good place for him.
Better than better than Geno.
Yeah. Raiders, where do they play? Las Vegas. What is that about? It's about gambling, about taking risks. Okay, fine. Go ahead and do it.
What if Kyler goes to play baseball?
See, to me, I like that narrative. It's okay. He's a good baseball player and leave football. But come on,
it's real. Yeah, he's not going to say, "I want to."
Where's Kyler Murray from?
He's from Texas. He's not going to say, "I don't want to be a starting quarterback."
Right. And I like Cam Ward.
No,
I'm a Cam Ward guy.
They're not going to give up. They're not going to give up on Cam Ward.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to give up on Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Where else could he end up? Possibly the Jets. I don't know what's wrong with Justin Fields. Is it playing in New York? Like I don't really know what. Like Justin Fields all of a sudden just looks like a worse Matt Sanchez. What happened? He was not that bad last year when he played for Chicago. 2 years ago, he played for Chicago.
Right. Then he
looks bad, man. Like what happened to what happened to Justin Fields? Like seriously though.
Is he playing in a in a bad organization? Hurts my heart to say it, being from Jersey. Is he playing in an awful organization that got rid of Robert Saleh because Aaron Rodgers didn't want to give him a hug? Is that what, right? The Jets, as much as it, because again, I'm Jersey. We went over this. The Meadowlands, I love it all. Okay? The Boss, the Sopranos, there's a lot. But I think the Jets, you want to talk about organizations that are cratering and just that don't know what they're doing, have no direction. Yeah.
No direction. Somebody said they were doing their free agency off of Madden ratings. Minnesota, no. And the reason why Minnesota, no, is they're not going to give up on JJ.
Yeah, some would say they shouldn't have given up on Sam.
They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have given up on Sam. Sam is balling.
Right. And then you look at the situation with Jordan Love, who, regardless of what people want to say, is the quarterback of the future, is the guy for Green Bay, but who sat out for 3 years. Right, with McCarthy, and yes, that was a bad loss, so on and forth, but Minnesota, you look ridiculous. Because this team, you could be the same, right? You act like the knee-jerk reaction from Minnesota in the same division. How did Detroit end their season? At home, getting embarrassed by the Commanders. Embarrassed in year 2. Okay? And then they lost both their coordinators. They had to re-up. But they brought the core back, and they're in the conversation once again. So I don't understand with Minnesota, it doesn't look. You want to talk about teams that are just making moves, and that's the thing about football. You have parity year to year. NFL stands for not for long. There's no. A team might make it to the Super Bowl one year, and then they're not going to make the playoffs the next year. So you really, every year is its own separate journey. And I just bring that up because you look at these mistakes that teams make, and you might not what resonates with me about the NFL, and obviously many other people, because it's the number one sports league by far, is there's an honesty about it. Meaning you do stupid stuff, and it's like, that's going to take you years sometimes.
Years to recoup.
And so Minnesota, a team that I told you the respect that I have for them, right? You brought in Brian Flores. You took a risk and brought him in because he deserves to have a head coaching job in the NFL. Now, should he have sued the NFL? Listen, right? I'm not going to say one way or another. I'm not going to say yes or no. I do know
about Flores.
Yeah, I'm talking about Flores. And I do know that he's one coach who happens to be African-American that was shafted. And it seems to happen a lot to different coaches, some of whom were African-American. I think about Steve Wilkes. You can speak to this. Being in Arizona, who got 1 year, then they drafted Kyler Murray, and they were like, something, Steve, adios. Now, Cliff Kingsbury was the better coach for a young Kyler Murray, and to develop him, and there was success. I'm stuttering, but
I was about to say it did work.
It did work.
That's what I'm saying.
It worked for a couple years.
We got D-Hop. They had 2 good years.
Right.
Cardinals were good, and then all of a sudden they released those black jerseys, and shit went down. Oh, sorry, it went down. It went downhill.
Yeah.
After they dropped the black jerseys, man, it just went downhill.
Right. Okay, and you could say the same thing for the Dolphins. It worked for a while with Mike McDaniels, and now it's over. It's done. So, but in the midst of that, people who deserved opportunities, Steve Wilkes, yes. Brian Flores, yes. I'm putting Gerard Mayo in this conversation, even though he didn't have the same success. Let's keep it a buck. He didn't have the same success, but he deserves an opportunity. You know who else we need to throw in this conversation? Put Steve Wilkes in the conversation a second time in terms of what he did with the Panthers, who were going nowhere after Matt Rule and had brought that team into a place of stability. And what does he get? He gets canned. And what do the Panthers get? They get 2 more head coaches. Now they're 5-5 this year. It's going decent, but there's been a coaching carousel since they got rid of him, trying to get it right. And you
Wait,
done
isn't
lost
Brian
3-4
Flores
seasons.
coaching in Minnesota?
Did he see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
you talk about he should be a head coach.
no, I'm talking about I respect Minnesota for doing that, for giving him the
Oh, yeah,
opportunity, and it worked. I respect them.
Yep.
And that's why
Yep.
I'm perplexed that they would jettison Sam Darnold. I'm befuddled. I'm
Not
flabbergasted.
perplexed. Not perplexed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm aghast. I'm dumbfounded. How are you going to give away Sam Darnold to make next thing you know, and Chris, whatever since when is Seattle in the Super Bowl conversation? Since when are we talking about Seattle being 7-2? They're supposed to be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes. And we know Arch Manning hasn't been who he's supposed to be, but there were no expectations. I wasn't aware. People correct me if I'm wrong. I wasn't aware of any expectations for the doggone Seattle Seahawks. And right now they're balling in large part to Sam Darnold, who was the quarterback for Minnesota, who was trying to find a quarterback. Why the heck did you get rid of this man when he could have stayed? You could have, yes, I know it was a bad loss, but doggone it, you remind me of my New York Knicks and their stupidity. Now, I'm happy the Knicks are playing good. Mike Brown's 1-4. But it took them a year and a day, forever and a day, to find Mike Brown because they didn't have really a plan after they got rid of Tibbs. It was a knee-jerk reaction. And then we're like, now we gotta figure it out. Well, how about you don't make a knee-jerk reaction and you just keep what's going on and you deal with a little bit of momentary frustration because you had a bad loss. So with Minnesota, that's what it's crazy to me because you're not if Minnesota had Sam Darnold, I'm asking you, football guy, I'll get off my soapbox. If Minnesota had Sam Darnold, are they clearly better than Detroit and Green Bay right now?
Clearly, yes. But you're also forgetting one thing. Okay, you're forgetting one thing, and they have so they traded Jackson. They traded Metcalf because they knew Jackson Njigba was the real deal. That's why they traded Metcalf. And then what happens? He comes. I think he's literally playing the best in the whole league right now. But yeah, Sam Darnold is balling. Their defense is just unreal. I don't know. This has been something that's been cooking. That's the thing about the NFL. Something can really be cooking. And once it just sets off, it just sets off.
And Seattle's defense
Seattle has been they've been drafting defense. Trading defense, treat defense. Of course,
and now it's the perfect storm has arrived.
Perfect storm has arrived. It's like, we can revert to the same thing with the Patriots. Football really, it starts with coaching, comes down to play calling, player flow. But if you have bad coaches in any facet, defense or offense, it's going to be a huge hole. Like the who has it? The Bengals, like their defensive coordinator. What is he calling?
Right. Okay. So Seattle, they done built it up. Respect to them. Right. You can't. We're talking about false. We're talking about false. If it's and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. That type of thing.
Oh yeah, that's the saying. But hey, in reality, like you said, when you make mistakes in football, you pay for them. When you let good people go, they will go somewhere else and ball out. The Giants,
right?
You see it every single year. You let somebody go, they will go somewhere else and ball out. Like,
Okay, and that's what we're seeing with it's just hey, one man's hey, different strokes for different folks is what I'll say. And so
yep.
I look at Minnesota. I look at Minnesota being 4-5. I look at Seattle being 7-2. I scratch my head. I keep it moving, right? So that it is what it is. What's wrong with the Falcons? Why the heck are the Falcons 3-6?
Because they paid Kirk Cousins.
Don't have the money to put the pieces around Penix.
Yeah. They paid Kirk Cousins to sit on the bench. That still doesn't make any sense to me.
To me, yeah, I'm a Michael Penix guy. So, you know what I mean? And so the sense that it makes to me is, do we let a generational quarterback go? Now, is Michael Penix generate? No. Do we let our quarterback of the future? Do we let our quarterback of the future go because we have a quarterback for the next 2 or 3 years? Or do we take the financial hit for however many years before they buy him out or whatever, and then we secure our quarterback of the future so we have a quarterback for the next 12 years? That's how I saw that. Now, of course, if Penix does not work out, then you're fired. Just like, yeah, what the heck is going on with the Giants? They keep firing, Dabo got fired, is Gettleman, and a lot of that is because of the idiocy, first of all, of getting rid of Saquon Barkley, but a close second is them drafting Danny, quote unquote, Danny Dimes. Now, Danny Dimes is balling for another. It makes it even worse for the Giants.
It makes it even worse for the Giants, man.
Because you were so this guy that you drafted that didn't work out and didn't see and wouldn't seem to work out with you guys is lighting it up for another team. So that's even worse.
That's a slight to your organization, right there.
Right. So back to your point about Penix, who I think is the guy. But I don't think it's a matter of Penix versus Cousins. I think it's a matter, to your point, of Cousins just chewing up. They just don't have they can't put pieces. But when you say they can't put pieces around him, I'm seeing they got Bijan in the backfield. What happened to that tight end? The tight end that was supposed to be the next
Pitts.
Travis
They
Kelce.
don't. That's what I'm saying. They had never known how to use him. It's year
Drake London.
6. Drake London's nasty, but
Yeah.
that's it. It's Drake London, and that's it. Drake
So
London, Bijan Robinson, and that's it. They don't use Pitts.
There's no yawning on Sands anymore.
They don't use their players anywhere close to I would say close to their potential, because you think about it. When these players leave these terrible organizations and go somewhere and ball out, that's just because they were in a place where they couldn't grow. I mean, the Giants let go of Saquon, and there's no reason why he didn't break the rushing record. He really could have broke the rushing record. And the Giants,
folks like me would say should have.
He should have. Yeah, I agree. Right. He should have. All that take me out. I actually really don't like that. I mean, the main goal was to win the Super Bowl, but still, you could have had the rushing record. Like, he could have had it. And they took him out like 3 games at halftime. It's like, what are we doing? I don't think he didn't even play the last game. And he played more games. He played more games than the actual Russian leader. Because their seasons were off of what? Their seasons were off of 12.
Is this? Are you going all the way back? Who are you talking about? Like the Jim Browns and the
Yeah. Yep.
OJ? Yeah,
Yep. The OJ's was off of 12 games.
correct.
Yeah. So I don't even think that the record now. I mean, and yeah, 15 games. You're playing 3 more games, man.
Yeah, 16, 17 games.
Yeah.
It's different ball wax. Duly noted.
Different.
You know,
Yeah. Just I would just say like that might have been why he didn't break it because like they play actually like 4 more games.
it might have been 14 games rather than.
So 14 and they play 16 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they played
So,
14
but
then 16 now.
we 17 now. 17.
17?
Yeah, man.
They don't play 17 games.
Currently,
Or the season's 17 weeks with the bye week.
I thought we're at 17 games. Looking to go to 18. Now, hold on. Yeah. So Simpson was in 14 games. It's late, but I got to get this right. I thought the season was 17 games now. Right?
How long is the NFL season? How many weeks is the NFL season? 18.
18 weeks with 17 regular season games.
17 games. So 15-2.
Yeah.
That's like when you said 15-2. Okay.
Right. Yeah, it's getting a little bit late, but we got the numbers right. But the point is, yeah, with Saquon, what he did was historic. Frankly, the way he was rushing, he could have, OJ, doing it in 14 games, that's a big deal. 2,000 yards in 14 games, that's wild. Okay, and
that's wild.
But the greats, Eric Dickerson, the folks that have challenged, in 16 games. What does need to be noted when you talk about the Eric Dickersons and Barry Sanders of the world and their achievements, not taking anything away from Saquon or the modern guys, but that's a different NFL, right? Where people can actually hit you and hit you hard, and hit you with malice, with malice in their heart, right? That's a different game where they're accomplishing these things versus, the way, and I get it, safety and all the rest of that stuff, but the physicality is it's not, it's like night and day in terms of
night and day.
That, right now that NFL, right? And I make that same point that's a big sticking point for me when it comes to quarterbacks and people putting respect on the quarterbacks of the awesome 80s, the 70s, even the 90s, right? I don't think the Steve Youngs of the world get enough credit. I don't think the John Elways of the world get nearly enough credit. That's not taking anything away from Patrick Mahomes. It's not taking anything away from Tom Brady or Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow or any of these other guys that you want to talk about. But the clear, undeniable fact is that they could tee off on a Steve Young.
They could hit them. Knock him. I was just about to say they could really hit quarterbacks.
And the goal was to knock the quarterback out. It wasn't just to hit him. It was to knock him out of the game. This is what you're trying to do. Okay? Right? And that was so if that's the reality, then you adapt to that reality and you're going to have champions. You're going to have people that are going to, the cream is going to rise to the top, however you want to put it. But I just feel the achievements when you're playing in that type of environment are distinctly different. Not that we're not taking, and I keep prefacing it, but you can't land on a quarterback. Never mind try to knock him out. You can't even tackle him and put your body weight on top of him in this modern. You have to slide to the side, or
you can't even push. If you push the quarterback, that's a penalty. Like you can't.
Right. That's nuts. Yeah. That's nuts. It's because we're still talking about football. But you
have to pull up. You really have to pull up, like to hit a. Like if the quarterback, you have to pull up. Like
which is not football. which is not football, as you would know
When
because
you're
you played
talking
football.
Steve Young, when you're talking Steve Young days, there was no pulling
Right.
up. There was running
No.
through.
Right, running through. And that's not football, as you can attest to, because it's a game of milliseconds. I can't be going full speed and then consciously have to, because that then gives you the opportunity to do something. Whereas if I had just kept running full speed, then I would have gotten there, either knocked you into
Well,
next Tuesday or
then you
interfered,
see players like Patrick Mahomes who can manipulate that aspect of the game.
Right.
Like before, if Patrick Mahomes did that stuff in the 80s, woo!
They'd be like, get off the field. What are you doing? Like what?
They would hit him. He would get hit, tiptoe out of bounds, like run in, tiptoe out of bounds. He would just get hit.
Right. So yeah, back to Saquon and just back to first of all, it's specific to Saquon. I think he would have got it. This generation, that generation, he was just on an unbelievable tear. But per capita, buying across the board, it's different. It's different. It's geared towards the offense. So just to balance it out, with the respect that we need.
The business side of it, touchdown, touchdowns, it's money. Touchdowns equal dollar signs.
Indeed. Okay, let's. Do the Ravens make the playoffs? They're 4-5 right now.
4-5? No, they don't actually. No, I don't see them. I don't see them winning, like going on this tear, because their defense is like depleted, like it is every year. It doesn't make sense to me how the Ravens defense just gets depleted every single year.
No doubt. So, wild Ravens missing the playoffs. Okay.
I know switch topics, but NBA. I think the Suns are making the playoffs.
Suns are going to make the playoffs?
Suns are going to make the playoffs.
Woo. Let's take a look here. Shout out to the Pistons, 11-2.
And Pistons are balling.
Wayne Casey has those boys rolling. Knicks, Mike Brown, all right. Hawks, Quinn Snyder, Cavs, Kenny Atkinson, Bucks, stability. I like it. Sixers, without Joel Embiid. I passed on VJ Edgecombe. I kick myself every day. Bulls 6-5. I love to see it. Magic. I mean, I'm loving this. All these teams over 500. Celtics just out of the play-in. They shouldn't have traded Drew Holiday. They can still make the play-in, obviously, but you get what you deserve. Hornets are the Hornets. A bit surprising with Brooklyn, Indy, and Washington. Washington, I'm not surprised because they're young and dumb. Brooklyn doesn't know who they are. They got to get back on track. Pacers, that is, you trade away Miles Turner for nothing. You let Miles Turner go, and then you Tyrese Halliburton is out, but you 1-11. That's a different. That's ridiculous. Okay, the Suns, who are in the 7th seed at 8-5, respect to it. Yeah, OKC and Denver, and Houston, right? Lakers, shout out to JJ Redick, could have LeBron James. T-Wolves, continuity. Spurs. So the West is loaded when you look at just that top group. The top group is nuts. Thunder, the new look Nuggets, who are better. The Rockets, who are better. The Fred VanVleet loss it hurts, but they still have enough depth to replace him with Reed Shepherd. Lakers are better than I thought they would be. JJ Redick is you know. Oh man, are you seeing this on the wire? Oh my goodness. Now, what am I talking
What?
about? Pat Bev has been arrested in Texas for assault.
Oh, jeez.
That's just on the. Just came through on the wire. And I was just singing the praises of that pod, which we're going to be taking a look at very soon for Slice of Life.
Okay.
And so unfortunate that he was, arrested, innocent until proven guilty, but unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the Clippers are 4-8. That's a first-rate organization. There's obviously scandals surrounding them, but they shouldn't be that bad. The Jazz have been bad forever. Portland is getting better, even though with the scandal, but they're still talented. A lot of young guys, Donovan Clingan, and others. And the Warriors are not competing for championships anymore, but they're a first-rate organization. I like to see them a couple games over 500. Okay, let's get into Slice of Life here. We did not dive too deep into this. Okay.
Up late tonight, Dre. It's almost it's 2.
It's not late. One with the time change.
Okay.
And it has been it's been busy times, but passion project, man.
Hey,
Gotta make time.
Yep, I feel you on that.
Gotta make time for the passion project. So it is what it is. All right, let's go.
Nico statue in front of Staples.
They should.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They should. Listen, we can blame them. We can blame them if we want to. It's easy.
This is where I'm going. A GM cannot trade a franchise player. Absolutely
Not supposed to
cannot
take you to the
trade
finals.
a franchise player.
To me, it seemed like this happened. You get a new owner. The owner wants Luka to bend the knee. That's his organization. No. That's Luka's organization. You bought it, but
Right.
those people around there know him.
Mm-hmm.
Those people around there cheer for him.
Mhm.
You coming in, you want him to bend, he's not bending. So when the ideal of trade comes, you're willing to do it.
I've been saying Nico was going to be the scapegoat, and it's almost like, and we're not sure, we're just speculating, but he can't even really come out and speak on it either because it could discredit him moving. He just has to take this shit on the chin.
Oh yeah. You got paid. This is what you got paid to do.
Remember, he got an extension going into the final when the team was going into the finals.
Your ass get paid to sit in that stand while they yell.
And death threats and all kinds
Yeah,
of
she
shit.
got to sit there with that stressful look on his face because that's what your job is. Your
Yeah.
job is
Forward facing.
if I make a bad decision,
You take it.
you take it.
Right. Let's keep it real. They're missing two of the best players in the game.
You made a trade. You got AD. You re-signed Kyrie. You got the #1 pick. So you're gonna blame AD being fat on him, right? If you look at AD right now, look like he gained a lot of weight. Is that his fault too? Like the record 3-8 because you don't have your best players, that's his fault too?
Well, I mean, my question to you, and I think we know the answer. I mean, if you are having a healthy Dallas team, Nico still has a job.
Of course.
There's no question about
Yes.
it. Someone told me they're building a Nico statue in front of Staples.
They should.
Yeah.
Nico.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, look, we can go back. I happened to just when it happened, the Luka trade. Sand City. Even though it was in the dark of the night, like a thief in the night. Went live that day, and I was outraged. So that was my initial reaction. We can go back to initial, just out. It's outrageous that they did what they did. As those guys said, that comes from ownership. It doesn't come from the general manager. So we're gonna the root of this all for me, and I'm gonna go off, and then you can go ahead and say what you got to say. It comes from the ownership group, who I have no time for whatsoever. I feel some type of way about the ownership group in Dallas, who allowed, in my view of this whole thing, is the ownership group is upset because they want, and this is not happening now anyway, but they wanted their casino people, their gambling people. They wanted a casino either attached to the arena or affiliated with the arena. They wanted, was their vision. And this connection between gambling and sports, that it's going sideways now, but that didn't happen the way they wanted to happen. And whoever's to blame is to blame. And so they have not been good stewards of this team in any way, shape, or form. And Luka Doncic is the zenith of that. This is a team, the Mavericks team, when Mark Cuban sold the team, when Mark Cuban sold the team within the agreement that was reported, he was going to have still control, or control is strong, but a say in basketball operations. And that's not taking place. It's not taking place. These owners are just doing, it starts with Luka, and Nico being fired. Look, what I was saying, what a lot of people are saying, we're going to watch another clip very soon. You can take off on this, but I'll you traded Luka, who's 26, for AD, who's late 20s, early 30s, but who's always hurt. He's always hurt. And Kyrie is always hurt. So on paper, these guys are in 2K, they're NBA championship contenders. But in real life, they're not going to be playing together often. And they're not. And so the team is awful. It's going to take Cooper time because he's 19. And so you blame all that on Nico, and you think that people aren't going to see the reality of it, which anybody can see. That this ownership group is chips. They're cooked. They're over their head. They should focus on what they're good at, which is casinos, and let their basketball people do the basketball stuff. They're not basketball people. They're they're math people. They're numbers people. I don't know, bro. You can say whatever you have to say about this, but
I mean, if they're all healthy, keeps his job. Yeah. That deal doesn't just go. That deal doesn't go through without owners okaying it. So
yeah. And now, you just, owners can sit back and try to push it on Nico, but people might go for it. Basketball people know exactly what the heck is going on.
Basketball know exactly. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the next clip. You can start off on this one. Let's get you go ahead and take off.
Organization is going to be doomed forever.
Why?
Trading Luka Doncic,
It's cursed.
that's a curse.
You thought it was a joke. You didn't think that was real. No way you talking about. For who? First thing I'm saying, oh, damn, they trade LeBron. Anthony Davis? What? And who else? That's it?
Yeah. And he didn't even want to leave.
And then put Cooper Flag at point next year. Oh, my God.
And they got lucky to get that number
They
one
They
pick.
did.
Yeah,
did.
that-
If they don't get that number one pick, doomed, like you say. And they still doomed.
Oh, they doomed. That organization is going to be doomed forever.
Why?
Trading Luka Doncic,
It's cursed.
that's a curse.
You thought it was a joke. You didn't think that was real. No way you talking about. For who? First thing I'm saying, oh, damn, they trade LeBron. Anthony Davis? What? And who else? That's it?
Yeah. And he didn't even want to leave.
And then put Cooper Flag at point next year. Oh, my God.
And they got lucky to get that number one
They
pick.
did.
Yeah,
did.
that-
If they don't get that number one pick, doomed, like you say. And they still doomed.
Oh, they doomed. That organization is going to be doomed.
Doom.
We'll watch that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more time. We gotta watch it again.
Yeah.
Watch it again.
Forever.
Why?
Trading Luka Doncic,
It's cursed.
that's a curse.
You thought it was a joke. You didn't think that was real. No way you talking about. For who? First thing I'm saying, oh, damn, they trade LeBron. Anthony Davis? What? And who else? That's it?
Yeah. And he didn't even want to leave.
And then put Cooper Flag at point next year. Oh, my God.
And they got lucky to get that number one
They
pick.
did.
Yeah,
did.
that-
If they don't get that number one pick, doomed, like you say. And they still doomed.
Oh, they doomed. That organization is going to be doomed.
Yeah, that's funny.
You want to take off on
I
this?
mean, in all honesty, it's just like that's what I said. I thought it was gonna be for Braun. Like you, it just are we watching the same thing? I know AD played a lot of games last year. Okay. But the year before, the year before, the year before, the year before, he was hurt. His history, I'm still trying to figure out how he passed the physical. I'm seriously, how did he pass the physical for the Mavs? Because they said Mark Williams didn't pass the physical. And I think that's BS. BS.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good point.
just B.
That's a
I
good
think
point because
that's
that's
BS.
they got Aiton right now and it's working, but they wanted Mark Williams.
They wanted Mark Williams.
It's working with Aiton, but that's insightful because and listen, to your point, this reminds me of when Lamar Odom, when they threw Lamar Odom in the Chris Paul trade, or back in the day, and it didn't go through, and he was just so offended by that he wouldn't return to the Lakers.
He
And
would have returned to the
essentially,
Lakers.
it ended his NBA career because he's in LA. Even though he's a New Yorker, he'd been in LA his whole right. He played for the Clippers, played for the Lakers.
Yep.
And could he have been more consistent? Could he have been an all-time player? If he had really focused on basketball, and we can talk and have that conversation. 6'9" point guard and you can shoot the three and all the rest of this stuff. We can have that conversation. But he's an NBA champion. He was a critical part of their championship years. But he just couldn't get over. You don't put me in trades. By the way, another L. Like, this is what's going on with the Lakers right now, and we might not have time for it this episode, but it's crazy to me LeBron James is not with the team. And don't talk to me about sciatica. Sciatica is something that senior citizens get. Sciatica is something that your great-grandparents have. Okay, that's not something that LeBron James is in tip-top peak. He's in his early 40s. Yes, he's played a lot of years, and there's miles and so on and forth. He spends millions of dollars on his
what's
body.
Happening.
This comes down to the fact the Lakers did, not to cut you off, go ahead, but the Lakers didn't give him an extension, and the Lakers said, you have no say-so. None, zero. You play on our team. You play on our team. You get with that, or you can get, and LeBron is like, you can't talk to me like that. And he is right, because nobody's ever talked to him like that, but he's wrong, because if he were to show up to work, they would be in the conversation. They're not better than OKC. They're not better than Denver. They're not better than Houston, but they'd be right in that conversation. Now, right now, they're right there record-wise, but people don't believe pound for pound without LeBron James, they could beat those teams. But if they did have LeBron James, and if he was committed, then we'd be still, these games would be, the conversation
They're talking
would
about
be
bringing Braun off the bench. All right, they're saying
right.
Braun comes back,
There's no
he messes up team chemistry.
And then we right, and then are you even kidding me? Like, since when are LeBron? You can't even. You should be put in basketball jail for putting G League and LeBron James in the same sentence, in the same paragraph. You need to be incarcerated for even thinking that those two words, those two phrases could be anywhere near each other. LeBron and G League. What are we even doing? The whole narrative is preposterous, but it all stems from the fact that he is so offended. He's so offended by this whole change of that's my take, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah,
now,
he is so. He is so offended that they traded AD right from underneath him without consulting with him for another superstar.
A bigger superstar than him.
A bigger superstar than him.
Right. That it's not just another superstar. It's somebody.
Bigger.
And by the way, is there any LeBron? You're in your 40s. Luka Doncic is 26. There's no shame in passing the baton to Larry to Larry Legend.
Now, in terms of like his Bronny's legacy, it's not looking promising. Let's put it that way.
So that's my situation and We'll come back to that. But I got a lot to say, and it frustrates me because this could be a win-win, just like it was. People don't remember or don't want to remember that it was Steph Curry's team, and it's Steph Curry's team now. But he said, "Bring in Kevin Durant. I can play with Kevin Durant. We can win together. I will take less. Let's do what's best for the team." And they won championships. KD left, he won another championship. So it's about perspective, and LeBron's perspective is not, "Hey, this could work. Let's."
No,
It's
LeBron's. I'm the king. Everybody get
yeah.
in line.
Yeah. I'm not having it. So back to now the Dallas situation, right? You didn't AD, like, he was having his, as you said, one of his better seasons in like a decade. He was showing up to work. He was not sitting out 18 games. He wasn't street clothes Davis. He was playing, and this is who D'Anthony Davis is. He was playing tremendous defense, defensive player of the year. You know, AD can't. He's not. AD is an all-around player. He's a 14 rebounds, 22 points, 7 assists. That's his game. He's not a 35 point a game guy. It's gonna start from the defensive end and with passing and with great team basketball. And that's what he was providing for the Lakers. And were they contenders? No, they weren't going to beat Denver. And no matter what they did, they weren't going to beat OKC, even if he was defensive player of the year. But it was working. And you just pulled the rug out from him. He has that same type of personality Lamar Odom does. You know? So first of all, you're only going to go. Now, the AD to Chicago stuff, but that's not happening anymore because Chicago is winning and they have their young core. So he's not going to Chicago. It doesn't work for Chicago, and so he's not going home. But you send him to Dallas and you expect to get the same effort when he didn't approve of being there in the first place? No. Did he play last year for the half? No. He played like 3 games, and then he had an injury, and he was done. And then this year starts, and he's injured again. He's always gonna be injured.
That's why I was trying to figure out, like, where has this man, what basketball has he been watching the past 4 years? I think games played for Anthony Davis is like 30%, 40%.
Right.
Not even, it's under half. So that, like, I'm just confused with, he shows up to work 1 year and you're like, all right, well, I'm going to trade a global superstar that just took us to the finals.
Yeah.
And then try to fat shame him.
As if that had anything to do with anything. He made it to the finals being
and then
husky.
you tried to fat shame him like that had anything to do with anything.
Right. All right, let's stay on that point. You talk about, you have an issue with how people look. Let's take a look at another guy.
Nice setup.
Curry in and out. Wembanyama tracking him down. Moody was the offense early. Curry, it's been late. Green out. Payton the second driving. No.
Victor was all over the place. He's out there on the perimeter guarding Steph Curry. Oh.
Wembanyama, no. Second time, yes.
All right, Victor is working so hard. Nice setup.
Look at this.
Curry in and out. Wembanyama tracking him down. Moody was the offense early. Curry, it's been late. Green out. Payton the second driving. No.
All right, Victor was all over the place. He's out there on the perimeter guarding Steph Curry. Oh.
Wembanyama, no. Second time, yes.
All right, Victor is working so hard. Nice set.
That thing has me a little nervous because why does the world team have the A team and they got to split the USA teams up? And tell me why the USA team takes it not serious and gets blown out. The team that they're bringing for the world is like SGA, Joker, Wemby. I saw, who else was it?
Go ahead and take a look at that. A couple more clips with a slice of life. We're gonna stay with the NBA
Giannis.
theme.
Oh my goodness.
Luka Doncic.
Wemby, Giannis, Joker,
To trade him.
and Luka.
He wasn't taking care of himself. It's a place in Texas where you don't have to take care of yourself. Where you can go get a brisket at 4:00 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Everything is big in Vegas, including his belly. And
You mean Texas, right?
in Texas,
Okay.
and Luka in Texas. So him coming here because he had so much promise, and with that kind of promise, you got to win a championship, and they didn't feel that was going to be what happened in Dallas.
But they came close. It's like that last year, didn't they? They went to the finals.
They went to the finals. Celtics beat them handedly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Celtics
And then he came back in the same shape. And so you see the change now. You see how he's in shape now. He needed to. I'm sad for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm sad for him because I'm only sad for him because he believed that they were family. And I tell all these players, and I look you in the camera, you are at work. And like the NFL stands for not for long, and no effing loyalty, understand that the NBA stands for no black ass. They had to trade him.
Yeah, I disagree firmly and fully with the take, not with the perspective that they'll move off of you in a heartbeat. But they did not.
I had this same take for a while, and the reason why I think I go back on it now is like, what actually does that have to do with basketball? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just was in the finals last year. Yeah, you lost, but he was just in the finals. Unless they knew that the thunderstorm was on the way. Because if that was the case, I mean, they just threw up the white flag and said, we need size. Like, I'm just so confused. I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. It shit don't make sense. Still to this day, when I think about it, it doesn't make sense. Max Christie and Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic.
Yes.
It just doesn't make sense.
Can you run that take back? I didn't hear exactly what you said.
About what does that act? I mean, the reason he came back in the him losing the finals.
Oh yeah,
didn't motivate him that following year. Like, he came back in the same shape, meaning he didn't work in the offseason. But didn't he play for his country?
Speaking of work in the offseason, again, I'm not of that mind. I'm Team Luka, and I feel that you work it out. But let's keep that thought, keep that same perspective. Let's look at another way of looking at it.
To me, Miami, I've never played on one better than Miami from top to bottom.
Oh.
That organization is the best to me.
Yeah. I learned how to be a pro in Miami.
Man, you got to, or you'll be out of there, but your name on the piss wall.
Yeah.
So in front of all the urinals, every player that's come through there, your name is on that wall. While everybody taking a piss, you see everybody's name.
At every organization wish they had Miami.
From the parking attendant to the ticket salesman to the everybody, bro. Locked in.
I'm talking about you're a little bit overweight. Yeah, okay. You won't be playing.
Yeah, every Monday. Give me that. Come on in here. Let me.
You won't be playing. Like, we're not playing you. Yeah, like, and we don't care who you are.
You was there in training camp?
I made the motherfucking team. Your boy fucked my shit up.
Did you do them wall touches?
Yeah, ain't no line to line. So Bron was my vet. I finished with the guards. Young fella, come on, run with us. Damn. I run with Bron now. All right, cool.
Loving it though.
Loving it. You feel me? Cool. Everybody looking like, okay, yeah, they shout me on. I'm running with Bron now. Fuck, young fella in shape. I'm running with Bron now. All right,
About to
cool.
die.
I'm talking about, but I won't because I'm trying to make a team. Jay Will, I swear to God, I down this bitch. I got to make this team, right? So I leave there. They do the big man last. They do the big man last. Bron hop in with the big man. Young fella, come on, fuck it, come on. Right? Right. Yeah.
You guys don't understand how hard these wall touches.
Yeah, Jay Will. I'm talking about, dog, whatever it took to make a team.
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. Shout out to Pat Riley.
Best
man.
to ever do. To me, Miami, I've never played on one better than Miami from top to bottom.
see,
That organization is the best to me.
Yeah. I learned how to be a pro in Miami.
Yeah.
Man, you got to, or you'll be out of there, but your name on the piss wall.
Yeah.
So in front of all the urinals, every player that's come through there, your name is on that wall. While everybody taking a piss, you see everybody's name.
At every organization wish they had Miami.
From the parking attendant to the ticket salesman to the everybody.
That's Pat Riley though.
Locked in.
Like,
Locked in. I'm talking
that's what
about
I'm
you're a little bit overweight. Yeah, okay. You won't be playing.
Yeah, every Monday. Give me that. Come on here. Let me.
You won't be playing.
Pat Riley,
Like
man.
we're not playing you. Yeah, like and we don't care who you are.
Thoughts?
Oh, yeah, Luka wouldn't play for the Heat. Or if Luka played for the Heat, he'd probably be the best player in the world. Or he wouldn't play.
Yeah, my view is grow where you're planted. You know, I think, I just looking at how the Lakers, would the Heat culture have been, a shock for Luka? And were there things going on with the Mavericks behind the scenes and them having to, keep him on the straight? Yeah, I get all that. Fine, sure. I'll concede all. But just because you need to come at him a certain way. Okay? 30 for 30, Marcus Dupree, the greatest that never was. Right?
Well,
This is
I
something.
agree.
This is something I borrowed from Uncle Shannon, that Mike Shanahan used to say to him, when he was the Broncos. He said, "I'm gonna treat you all fairly, but I'm not treating you all the same. I'm not treating you all the same. You talk to Luka Doncic and treat him differently than you treat the players, and you have to find that middle ground to get through to him. The Lakers have shown that it exists because he's in much better shape. I'm not saying there wasn't issues that people, but even within those issues, you made it to the finals. Were they the favorites to make it back to the finals? Maybe no, they weren't. But when Luka locks in, he's darn near unstoppable. So I don't think the whole weight thing. I don't. John Sally, it's a really good point, but no, that's not ultimately why.
I mean,
go ahead
that
and-
could
and-
just be a reason. I
Yeah.
think that could be a reason, but it's like, the Mavs are not the Heat, like you just said.
Right. All right, man. A couple more. We're gonna go over to the world of business. Let's go to the world of business.
Most entrepreneurs fail. Most entrepreneurs are fucked up. If you speak to Travis Kalanick, the guy who started Uber, failed and was back at his mom's house at 33 years old as a failed entrepreneur before he started Uber. He started Uber waiting for a taxi that didn't show up. You have to have a belief in yourself that's so maniacal that people think you're crazy. People ridicule you. They think you're bugging the fuck out. You're willing to put it all on the line. And I can't tell you that unless you have a dream in your head that you can't get out of your head, that it's worth it. Unless you have something in your head that unless you pursue that thing, it won't get out of your head, I'm not sure it's worth it.
Because the rate of failure is high.
The math doesn't work about being a successful entrepreneur and getting funded and growing and having a successful exit. It doesn't work. But if you can't get it out of your head, I understand. Most entrepreneurs fail. Most entrepreneurs are fucked up. If you speak to Travis Kalanick, the guy who started Uber, failed and was back at his mom's house at 33 years old as a failed entrepreneur before he started Uber. He started Uber waiting for a taxi that didn't show up. You have to have a belief in yourself that's so maniacal that people think you're crazy. People ridicule you. They think you're bugging the fuck out.
You're willing to put it all on the line. And I can't tell you that unless you have a dream in your head that you can't get out of your head, that it's worth it. Unless you have something in your head that unless you pursue that thing, it won't get out of your head, I'm not sure it's worth it.
Because the rate of failure is high.
The math doesn't work about being a successful entrepreneur and getting funded and growing and having a successful exit. It doesn't work. But if you can't get it out of your head, I understand. Most entrepreneurs fail.
Thoughts?
Truth. You got to be a little crazy to believe it for other people to start believing it.
Yeah. Steve Stout, shout out to Club Shay Shay. Didn't really know who this guy was. They did an interview, Club Shay Shay. Got a chance to be familiar with him. And yeah, he's on point. And again, we talk about it. This is passion project, indie, I do what I do. I know there's so many great programs, great talent, you know what I mean? But, this is, I want to do it. So I'm doing it. I'm getting better at it. And, so just from a life standpoint, a quality of life standpoint, those things that are positive, those things that are creative, those things that you got to make time for them in the midst of the humming drum, make time for them and you're going to be better off. And then you really make time for it, to go all in like he's talking about, and you could be really well off. All right, we're going to conclude with the man himself. Spike, go ahead and conclude. Same theory.
That you love whatever it is. When you have a job that you love and you make a living, that's a blessing. Because majority of people on this earth were buried in their grave and hated the job. We're blessed. But imagine if every day you wake your tired ass, the alarm goes off and you keep hitting it. When I'm shooting a film, I don't need an alarm.
Because you love what you do.
And the people have a blessing. But the people who have to go to a job every day they hate, of course, they're going to put food on the table for their children, roof over their head, and stuff like that. But we're not getting the joy. You get joy from your family. But the thing you make money on, you hate, they're not joyful, I think. So we're blessed. When you have a job that you love, whatever it is, when you have a job that you love and you make a living, that's a blessing. Because majority of people on this earth were buried in their grave and hated the job. We're blessed. But imagine if every day you wake your tired ass, the alarm goes off and you keep hitting it. When I'm shooting a film, I don't need an alarm.
Because you love what you do.
And the people have a blessing. But the people who have to go to a job every day they hate, of course, they're going to put food on the table for their children, roof over their head, and stuff like that. But we're not getting the joy. You get joy from your family. But the thing you make money on, you hate, they're not joyful, I think. So we're blessed. When you have
Spike to conclude, thoughts?
Yeah, man. When you waking up with no alarm clocks and doing things you love, that's it right there.
It's another level. Shout out to 40 Acres and a Mule. Spike Lee joint. So many great soundtracks. A lot of my playlist is Spike Lee. Spike Lee joints. And so, bro, really good episode. A lot of insights, a lot of football talk. Got into the basketball down the stretch with the slice of life. But excellent. Much appreciation you being here, and we'll keep it moving and grooving from there. Respect.
Oh, yeah. Much appreciate you having me here, bro. Sand City.
Indeed. So we'll amen. Respect. Let's get it going. Yes, sir.